Welcome to Spotlight New England. I'm one of your hosts, Audrey McClellan.
And I'm Ashley Erling. We have to start with some sad news.
Yeah, not the best news.
But we have to talk about it because we're going to talk about Judge Caprio,
Yes.
who passed away this week. And, you know, it's a sad thing to talk about, but his legacy is so bright. Mm-hmm. So it's like you don't want to talk about it, but you do because you don't want to forget that.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I mean, he touched so many lives. Of course, I think most people are familiar with him already,
Right.
but he was, you know, known for his show Caught in Providence, where he had a lot of compassion in the courtroom,
Yes.
like he said, and he, you know, went viral for it often
Right.
because it was just such a
He cared about people.
A lovely life moment.
Yeah.
I won't even say lesson, just a lovely life moment.
Yeah, because like you're in court because clearly something you did wasn't right.
Mm-hmm.
And to have a judge up there understand you, see you as a human being, it just like, actually, it's funny. I was watching one even last night because, you know, I was on Threads going through like all the, you know, the stuff.
Everyone was just the outpouring of love.
No, but there was a guy, he was like 93 years old, and he must have done something erratic in the car. Do you remember this one?
No, it was his, yeah,
It was his son who had cancer, and he was 63.
That one gets me every time.
And like you could see like Judge Caprio honestly almost tear up as he was saying the story, and he was so kind to him and so wonderful. And that's how my kids knew him from the show.
Yeah,
like they loved him. They watched him on YouTube all the time.
And the funny thing is, the show was around for so long. Like before it ended up getting picked up.
Yeah.
Nationally, but it was around here. Like it was just like a little local thing,
right,
for a very long time, and people liked it. And then they picked it up, and he became this, you know, national treasure.
Yeah. And we, you know, he came to the show in February. We had the chance to interview him.
So recent.
And, you know, I was saying to the guys at the road show, I'm like, you know, I feel like you can really sense the measure of somebody, a human being, by how their children are around them. And he came with his sons, and they just love him so much. They were like taking pictures of him and videos and helping him up. And he was just, you could just tell the love that he has. And then we were joking. He's like, you have 5 kids?
Yeah.
I have 5 kids.
Oh my God.
And it just was like a lovely, lovely human being.
Very down to earth.
Very.
And just, you know, it was just impressive. He never lost that kind of like compassion factor and going through things himself. And I'm sure, you know, we know what we know of him, but I'm sure, you know, with a big family, they've all been through different things. And he just always was kind of that like beacon of just like goodness.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He would always take photos of everybody. When we'd see him out at events, everybody would be in line to get like a selfie with him. And he was like such a humble human being too. I mean, he was very famous, but like he took time with everybody, and he did cross over like where like the younger generation loved him.
That's a great point.
All the way up until like, you know, the older generations.
Yeah.
I mean, he really did. Every age just loved him.
And you feel like you knew him even if you didn't. And it was nice to see, again, the outpouring of love. Like you said, you went on Threads last night and you were seeing everyone. You know, Paula Abdul.
Did she say something?
Yeah. I mean, she shared some old photos.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, well, she was involved with the family for quite a while. So she knew them. And Viola Davis.
I did see that one.
Shared
that was
something.
nice.
She said, my fellow Rhode Islander. So it was, you know, moments like that, while they're so sad, and they truly are. But you want to keep those memories, those legacies, and all of that goodness, which is what he stood for so many years. You know, you don't want to let that light dim.
No, absolutely. And then if you go on his Instagram, like one of the last posts is a video from one of his sons, and just thanking everybody for praying for his father, just loving him. And it was just really nice to see that too.
Yeah, it was. So we're
Tough.
sorry. We're
Very
sorry
tough.
to see his legacy, you know, now find its ending, but we're so happy that he was a Rhode Island treasure, a New England treasure, all of that.
Absolutely, and touched so many lives. So it truly, he just was a remarkable human being.
Yeah, so and we have a lot of great, fun, uplifting things to talk about today on the show, as well as we remember Judge Caprio. So stick around, we'll have more on Spotlight New England right after the break.
Our next guest on Spotlight New England today is just a treasure. We absolutely adore her. We have Nora Barre with us today. And now Nora is the executive director of the Downtown Providence Park Network. I just had the pleasure to chit-chat with you recently about something that's going to be on the roadshow very soon, but we're so happy to have you here with us today. We adore you, Nora.
what do I say to this?
We do.
Guys,
We
it's
love
so
having
cute.
you. We love
Thank
having
you.
you. We
Thank you for
always
having
love
me.
collaborating with you
Yep.
and doing things with you. And you're always up to so much. Like, you're always have a new project or something cool for us to check out. So we're going to dig into a lot of that. But for anyone who's not familiar with the Downtown Providence Parks Network, let us know what it is, what you guys do, what you're all about.
Of course. So we're a nonprofit that was created by a lot of downtown stakeholders that wanted to see just more activities downtown in the parks and tying the public spaces and building civic pride in our downtown. So a lot of their stakeholders include the universities. It's a public-private partnership, and we work with the city. We work with, I always want to clarify that there's a parks department, and that's
Right.
part of the city of Providence.
It's
and
not
they
the
do all the
same.
hard work.
Yeah.
They're like,
It's like how I say, like, we do like this in the roadshow, we do the
Right.
fun stuff.
Right.
But
The
news
news
does
does
news.
the-
They do the hard
Yes,
work.
it's like you do
we
you.
do the fun stuff. They
Yeah,
do the
it's
hard
Actually, a good way
stuff.
of putting it.
It is so true, and I fully, so they do all the hard things of cutting the grass and fixing things and doing capital improvements,
Yeah.
and then we get to come and do fun things. And so our mission is to create work, the public-private sector, bring them together and activate downtown,
Right.
and really, really make it vibrant.
Yeah.
How do we do that? By activities,
Right.
by I think of it as like pushing the crowd around the space,
Yeah.
making it exciting enough for them to go from one spot to the next, to the next, to the next, and get exercise while they're at it.
Absolutely.
And I think of these public spaces kind of downtown, just like a lot of the stakeholders do, as our town square.
Yeah.
That's where people meet. That they're crucial democratic spaces where everybody can kind of gather and
Yeah.
learn about your community.
And the thing that's interesting is I've gotten to know more about your organization is how much public space there is
Yeah.
and
Right.
that you are involved in. Do you want to touch on some of that and like the
Yeah.
spaces that we're kind of talking about?
Yeah, of course. So it's about 20 acres that our nonprofit helps activate. And they range from the Point Street Bridge to the basin. And that's a connected loop that a lot of people don't know about.
Right.
But a lot of people during their lunch hour
Yeah.
that work downtown, I see them, they put their shoes on and go for a walk. And
I love
it's
that.
so lovely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so lucky that we have the connected space. A lot of downtowns fight for that. And then we've got the river in the middle
Yeah.
of it. I mean, it really looks European when you look up at the
does.
architecture.
Right, like a Renaissance city.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is beautiful. There's a lot of pedestrian bridges. So that's part of this space we work in. And then when you go up the stairs where track 15 is, into the greater Kennedy Plaza. So you've got Kennedy Plaza, Biltmore, Burnside, and the rink. And so that's the spaces that we activate.
Yeah.
Try
That's
to bring
all
vibrance.
yours.
Yes, but a lot of people, there's different ownerships along that 20 acre.
Yeah, and
like
you're-
physical ownership. Of
Yeah.
it.
Oh, I see
and
what
you
you mean.
help
Yeah.
to like unify everything and just again like make it a vibrant community, I think would be like
Yes.
kind of the easiest way to sum it all up so that people
Absolutely.
are taking advantage of our
Absolutely.
capital
This
city.
beautiful space.
Absolutely. And there's like different organizations also we work with. That,
Yeah, you
know,
work very closely with many organizations.
Yeah, there's like there's the 195 District Park, then there is the city, then there's all these different nonprofits also activating. There's the businesses
Oh, yeah.
that want, events to happen. There's water fires, just like phenomenal. So like we work with Go Providence, the
Yeah.
Providence Tourism Council. We like everyone comes together to build a full calendar for the year, and I think that when we get, we're nearly there. When we get to a point where people are like, I'm just going to go downtown.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
something cool happening. It
Right.
doesn't have to be this big, massive festival necessarily.
Yeah.
It could be like something fun and a little
Absolutely.
buskering, a little music, a
Yeah.
little food festival,
Yeah.
whatever it might be. Just little things would be
Just
Right.
get you
Festivals
down
big.
there.
Combining that with
yeah.
all of our restaurants and things
Oh,
like
it's-
that, it's
to know
just
the city is, and one thing that I love about
Exactly.
you too is that we grew up in New England. Like I
Right.
grew up in Rhode Island, and you didn't grow up in Rhode Island.
No.
And I love that you have such a love for this area, and I think that's something that a lot of people I look at people that have come to this state and you have just like a deep, deep appreciation for it.
Yes.
And you've immersed yourself in learning the culture, the history of Providence, of Rhode Island. What made you fall in love so much with this city? Because when we were walking the other day, I remember like, she knows more than I do about this area. And I've been here almost my entire life. What made you fall in love with this area so much?
So I think I always think back, I think the first time I visited, so we came here for work, and it wasn't a choice. And my husband and I were like, well, what could be so bad about something called Providence?
Yeah,
It literally means goodness.
Yeah.
And we were looking where we were going to live. I came and I chose that, and I landed in the airport.
Yep.
Drove to Pawtuxet Village. And I don't know what it was. There was like this, and it was February, so it was freezing.
Oh,
the weather was not great.
No, I know.
cloudy.
February might be the worst month.
It was horrible. And I stood in front of the bay, and I was like, there is something really special about this state. And I really felt like I wanted to put my anchor here and build a home. And never wanted to leave. I remember calling my husband on the, I was walking around, and I said, hey, I think I want to die here. He's like, let's just like get in front.
He's like, do you want to live here first?
Like,
or
house.
I love that. That's like so perfectly what I love. It's like, I want to die here.
How long have you been here now? How long? How many
Total
years?
2012, since 2012.
Since 2012.
Since 2012. I just love it. I love the people.
Yeah.
And it's not easy all the time. Like people
No,
work
it's
here.
true.
Yeah.
But I love them.
Yeah.
I love the water. I love seafood, so I don't eat, like I'm a vegetarian. I'm a pescatarian, and so like seafood plays a huge part of my love.
I mean, year-round seafood, you can't beat that.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then, to be able to walk with my kids to the water and get seashells and look at horseshoe crabs in the water, like it's magical. We're lucky. I think people take it for granted.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's what happens.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I almost felt like when I left chatting with you the other day, I almost felt like that because I actually saw downtown Providence, which I love. I've gone there countless times.
Well, and you went to college there. You went
I did,
Brown.
Yeah, I went to Brown, and I used to even give tours of campus, and part of it was coming down right to like North Main Street and just doing like a quick overview. But to see you light up about Providence and what you can do, and like the beauty of it, and the safety of it, and where you can go, I honestly left thinking I gotta get down here more.
Right.
I come
like
down
I
for
don't take
events.
advantage.
I don't take advantage, and that's what I loved about being with you so much. Is you just gave me like that. You just like reinvigorated me to come down here.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
And I mean that. Yeah. It's a wonderful city.
Yeah.
I've lived in Montreal. I've lived in Miami Beach. I've lived in some really cool places. I never wanted to settle anywhere but here. And is it perfect? No, nowhere is.
Right.
But it's clean.
Yeah.
I hear that from so many people that come down, come to visit us. Like, it is so clean here.
Yeah.
And I hear complaints people how dirty. I'm like, it is not perfect.
I mean, a city's going to be
A
a
city's
city.
go.
A city,
Yeah.
but it is clean. We clean it. We do. The city takes a great job of maintaining it. And then the other thing is that it is safe.
Yeah.
Are there things that happen? Of course, because it is a city, but it is safe most of the time. And it is. I feel safe walking. I feel safe taking my family.
I loved hearing you say that the other day.
Yeah, it's important. I think that take it from the people that work.
Yeah, you spend all your days down there, working down there. You walk around all the time. I've met you there for things.
Yeah.
Audrey's met you there for
Absolutely.
things. And I love how walkable the city is. I think that is one of the biggest things that makes it so great, especially with the addition of the pedestrian bridge.
Yes.
To really connect every part of it. It is such a walkable city. You can get all over. There's great restaurants, coffee shops, cafes, all of that in such a small footprint, but there's so much.
I agree. And there's like the gondola and renting kayaks from the landing and doing the boat tour.
It's so much.
It's magical. I don't know. I feel like it's magical.
It's a good way to put it. Very magical.
So much.
So tell us about this latest project. We're seeing some video of it. So this is, to enhance your Providence experience, but tell us what this really is, the wayfinding project, correct?
Right. That's right. So I think I was trying to also since I landed here
Yeah.
from the airport, I felt like I belonged here.
Yeah.
And I would love, to kind of really give that feeling to everyone that visits or lives here, that they belong here. And so we wanted to tie these spaces together was the goal of this. When I was first hired for this position 2 years ago, I remember all of my people that interviewed me said, the spaces are spread apart and people don't know they're connected. How can we do this? So I've been thinking on it for a while. And then I wanted to think of how can we represent all the cool things that makes Providence and Rhode Island what it is.
Right.
And so we started kind of doing research and talking to different community leaders and organizations and stakeholders, and to see what are these stories? Because we have so many stories to tell.
Yeah.
And taking notes and organizing it, and then we applied for a grant and we received it from Commerce RI. Thank you very much. And Mayor Smiley's office with the city, we also received funding from them. And we thought, okay, let's tie this together in a cool way, not in a repetitive banner way, in a storytelling way. And I started noticing, people are on their phones all the time.
Yeah.
Let's incorporate something where, I think at one point, wasn't there some game with the phones?
Well, there was back when, remember geocaching
Pokemon
/
Go.
like
My
Pokemon
kids
Go.
used
They're
to play
kind
all
of
the
like
time.
similar concepts.
Exactly. So, I wanted to kind of take a little bit of that and thread it into this project. So first of all, I thought visually, let's tie the spaces in with lamppost banners. Let's make them colorful.
Yeah.
Let's make sure they're all kind of have some story to tell or something to kind of show off, like water fire.
Yeah.
Our gondolas represent something like the sea bass that's found in the river, the quahogs, those kinds of things. And so we received this funding, and then we started doing outreach the organizations, and then we hired Buena Graphica, a team duo that were amazing. And I described this to them, this whole multifaceted approach to doing wayfinding for pedestrians. And they created these beautiful banners. And then I called the local robot, Ben, and I was like, I have this crazy idea. How can we digitally create a map that's interactive, specific to Providence, that's colorful and fun, and be willing to tell these stories on these banners? And so he was like, well, let me think about it. And then he started working on it, and he's been working on it for over a year, and it's nearly finished. To help us, as we add these banners, we want people to walk away with a few facts about Providence, whatever that might be. So we chose a lot of, leaders in the communities to represent all the different residents of Rhode Island and Providence. And so he created this digital, interface, and then we've done Lumina for the past 2 years. And so a lot of, we sent out surveys, and a lot of the feedback has been, why do we not have permanent interactive art pieces downtown? And that's where the anchors
Now
came
we do.
from.
Love it.
Yes, I went to the studio that we worked with, and I said, hey, can you...
I have another idea.
Can you create these permanent anchor, because anchor,
Yeah, that's
being
so Rhode
anchored here.
Island.
You
That is
belong
so
here.
Rhode
You're
Island.
anchored
The story
here.
works
Yeah.
it
Right?
weaves together. So there's 5 of them.
Yes.
That, like you had said, all work together. It's the actual loop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's within the loop, so it's we make it an urban treasure hunt. And there are other cities that have done cows. I think-
Yes.
Was that in Chicago or I don't remember.
I remember seeing the cows somewhere.
Horses
Yes.
in Louisville, Kentucky, or Lexington.
Yep,
They have horses because
Yes.
that's what they're known for. And I thought anchors is our thing.
I love it.
And so they created these from scratch. They've never been made before, and they created them especially for Providence.
They're so cool.
And they have music, they have software
They're
in
incredible.
them. They don't have to be plugged in.
So they're an interactive, immersive
Yes.
experience for people. So it's
Exactly.
an
Very
art
cool.
installation,
Yes.
but an interactive one. It's beyond
Yes.
just looking at
Yeah.
it, even though
Yeah.
they look very cool.
And the beauty
You crank it.
Yeah.
As I said, you crank it up and it plays. And I have to say, the beauty of it is, you said, with the banners and these anchors, you learn something, you have fun. We saw a little girl turning in with her dad, and
Yes.
she was laughing. And
Yeah.
then, you just know that I love that you can walk away with knowledge that you didn't have before. It's just so
Yeah.
smart to bring this to Providence.
I mean, it's also for example, the Burnside Park has a beautiful fountain, but no one knows who built that. And that was Enid. She was the first woman sculptor to win an award, I think, to have made it. And that was forever ago.
Yeah.
Right? Like, she's talk about, like, just kind of like these awesome people that have made Providence
Bringing
what
these
it
stories to life.
Yeah.
We love you, Nora. You are
Exactly.
you're so incredible.
I love you guys. So.
Yeah, and then, now it's something that people can look out for when they're
Right.
walking around.
And tomorrow on the road show, we'll be able
Yes.
to do a little bit of deeper dive
That's
into these
awesome.
as well. So thank you so much for being with us.
Of course. Thank you for having me. You're
Absolutely.
awesome. Thank you.
And stick around. We have more with Spotlight New England. Welcome back to Spotlight New England. I love this story.
I know. I love this story too.
So we, came across this woman, Gerda, who's from Atlanta. Her and her husband had this bucket list to hit all 50 states.
Yeah.
And they did as many as they could. They actually went up to 49 states.
Was that how many they did together?
Yes, they did 49 states.
You did a deep dive on
I
the
really
story.
did a deep dive.
I didn't
really
know it
liked
was
this
like
story.
that.
Well, at least that's how the article definitely led it to be. But said that they got to as much as they could, and they had one state left.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they weren't able to complete it together. George passed away. But Gerda was in she's like in a assisted living facility in Atlanta, and they heard about the ladies that she worked with. Heard that she had one state left, and they helped facilitate her getting here, and they paired up with the Providence and Warwick, what is it, the Convention?
The Convention Visitors Bureau. AKA Go Providence.
I was going to say Go Providence.
Sometimes they just go by Go Providence because it's a mouthful.
But I'm seeing the thing
I
that you're seeing out there, and they made it possible for her to get the last state, which obviously is Rhode Island, on her bucket list.
Oh my God, I love that.
Look at how cute she is going around the Capitol, the State House.
They put her up for a night at one of the hotels downtown. It escapes me in this moment which one they said it was. And then she went out to dinner at Hemingway's, which what a fabulous dinner. She got a tour of the State House and of the city. So
how cool is that? I
love that. A lot of times there are all the time. There's so many things we all want to do in life.
Yeah.
There are so many things. I'm not at the point yet where I want to call it a bucket list, but there's just so much in life I want to do.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'll get around to it. And some of it you will. And hopefully you'll get to all of it. But how often do you really get to say, check the box? I did that. I did it. So happy I got to do it. All 50 states.
That's a big accomplishment.
That's actually a huge deal. I wonder how many people really do that.
I don't know. It's funny because I was watching this story this morning on the news before I came in, and my husband happened to be in the kitchen, and I was saying, I'm like, you haven't hit all 50 states because he drove cross country when he was in college, east to west and then west to east with some buddies, and I'm like, how many states did you hit? He said, I've probably been to at least 30 plus. He goes, but I haven't done all 50.
I mean, I bet I've barely scratched the surface if you really think about it. East Coast, got it.
We got the up and down. East Coast. New England,
Coast,
done.
Obviously, California. You go once,
You're
get the whole
Hawaii,
West Coast.
Potentially Hawaii, Alaska. I don't know. I'd love to get to Alaska at some point.
Yeah.
But that's just, I just love the story.
Unfortunately, a lot of the middle states, because I've never done a road trip or anything like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of those I have not, but even Arizona.
Yeah, my niece is in Arizona, so it's funny because I have a friend that lives in Idaho, and she lives on a farm. I used to blog with her, and we're still very good friends. And I always say, I'm like, I gotta get to Idaho.
There's so much.
I'm like, when will I ever go to Idaho in my life?
I have no idea.
It just seems like a really cool place to go visit.
I feel like you really do have to do a road trip.
Yeah.
To be strategic about hitting a lot of those places,
everything.
Because you can do more than one at a time.
Right,
you know
exactly.
What I mean? You can make that into a whole trip. So.
Right. And I was at one place where I think I was in Nebraska. It was in Omaha, and there was one point where you could be.
I haven't been to any of those.
You could be in Nebraska and Iowa at the same time.
Yeah.
I had 1 foot here, 1 foot there. Yeah. So that's as good as it got for me.
Yeah. So we have a lot on our list.
We have a bucket list we gotta complete. That's it.
But we got New England covered.
We got New England covered. We love our New England.
We do. Thank you for joining us today on Spotlight New England. We'll see you next time.